The healer's fingertips left my pulse. His face was as dark as a storm cloud. Shili, your primordial spirit is near its end. My lips trembled slightly. The stabbing pain in my chest suddenly intensified. Could it be the fatal blow from the merman elder before his death? The healer nodded. His voice was reluctant. The last drop of blood the merman gathered before self-destructing is a deadly poison. It's now devouring your true essence inside you. I took a deep breath, suppressing the surging pain. 1,000 years of cultivation, from a little fox spirit to an immortal. I thought I could stay by his side forever, but I never expected it would end like this. Healer, please keep this matter confidential for me. Very well. As for His Majesty, I naturally won't say a word. The healer's figure gradually faded away, leaving me alone sitting in the empty hall. Bitterness flooded my heart. 1,000 years, being able to stay by Suye's side for so long. I should be content. Before I turn to ashes, I only want to fulfill one last wish. Shedding my immortal robes, putting on coarse cloth clothes like a mortal woman, to cook for him with my own hands. The bamboo hut still looks the same as before. I prepared the evening meal, waiting quietly. Perhaps because my mind was at ease, my white fox tail unconsciously slipped out behind me, brushing the floor softly. How improper. The familiar call voice came. My heart fluttered in panic. I quickly withdrew my tail, knelt and bowed. Your Highness, the merman clan has been destroyed. Silly has lived up to your Highness's expectations. This fierce battle lasted centuries. I gave it my all, even sacrificing my life. But as long as it satisfies him, everything is worth it. He glanced indifferently at the food on the table, his tone devoid of any emotion. From now on, don't bother with these meaningless things. Tomorrow, prepare the betrothal gifts for me. Betrothal gifts? I looked up sharply, eyes full of shock. The merman slaying pearl that is the betrothal gift I'm giving to the dragon clan. With a boom, I felt as if struck by a thunderbolt. My whole body went cold. For a millennium, the mermen and the dragon clan have been irreconcilable enemies. He wants to marry the dragon princess, dig up graves, and refine corpses. And the realm I fought so hard to take is just his bargaining chip. I bit my lower lip, the taste of blood spreading on my tongue. Chili understands. You did well this time. He glanced at my pale face. His eyes darkened slightly, but his tone remained commanding. Quickly prepare to accompany me to the dragon clan. He turned to leave. I couldn't hold it anymore and called out to him trembling. Your Highness, have you ever had any feelings for Jilly? This is my only obsession. If I don't ask now, I'll never have the chance. He frowned, a flicker of displeasure in his eyes. Shilly, know your place. His figure dissolved into the world. I slowly closed my eyes, tears streaming down. Yes, I'm just a little fox spirit he saved. A sword he used to conquer the 6 realms. How could I dare to hope for his true heart? The stinging pain at my true essence grows stronger. I can feel my energy dissipating bit by bit. Time is running out. I wonder if I can make it through these 3 days. Turning to ashes is inevitable. Above the Dragon Palace, the Dragon King and Princess Longmei personally came to welcome them. Suye waved his hand grandly. I stepped forward holding the wooden box containing the dragon-slaying pearl, my fingertips trembling slightly. Dragon King, this spiritual pearl of the mermaid clan, could it serve as my betrothal gift to marry the princess? Longmei saw the spiritual pearl, and her eyes lit up instantly. A smile curled on her stunning face, so dazzling, it truly suited him. The Dragon King was overjoyed, and accepted the spiritual pearl on the spot. Since the Divine Lord has kept his word, I will naturally entrust Maya to you. Longmei lowered her head shyly, but her gaze remained fixed on Suye. Watching her joyful expression, my heart was filled with mixed emotions. Her status and looks are things I can never hope to attain. On the day of the grand wedding in the Divine Realm, the overwhelming red stung my eyes. I watched Suye lead Longmei into the Divine Lord's hall, and 1,000 years of belief completely collapsed. Divine Lord, I wish you happiness. I turned around with a bitter smile, and unconsciously walked toward the endless sea of flowers. My fingertip was cut by a mandala, and blood dripped down. That flower actually withered at a visible rate. For nearly 1,000 years, everything I touch that has life withers. So, my existence is destruction itself, doomed to be unworthy of anything. Ali, a familiar voice called out. I turned and saw Lin Sheng in white. Like me, he had followed Suye for 1,000 years, and was his right-hand man. I was worried seeing you alone, so I came over. He sat down beside me, and was silent for a long time. Is it because of the Divine Lord's wedding? So what if it is? I bit my lip, a barely detectable sob in my voice. Shi Li, you must understand. Some things are not yours to desire. The Divine Lord only cares about the 9 provinces. Even Longmei is just a pawn to him. I nodded. I know, he sighed. You have to give up these feelings. Or even I can't keep you safe. I remained silent. Giving up is easier said than done. 1,000 years of obsession has long been etched into my bones. In the Yingling Sea of flowers, I was watering with a watering can, when suddenly the flowers beside me wilted, filled with lifelessness. I curled my lips in self-mockery. Even the plants reject me. How dare you? When you see the princess, why don't you kneel? An angry shout rang out. I turned and saw Longmei approaching with her maid, her eyes fixed on my face, with hostility. You're just a subordinate of the Divine Lord. When you see me, why don't you kneel? I heard you cultivated from a fox spirit. I advise you not to have any improper thoughts. I looked at her silently, then turned to leave. Stop, she drew her dragon whip, and lashed it at me without mercy. I instinctively blocked, but the dragon whip rebounded, and struck her hard in the face. Longmei screamed, her left face gradually corroding, her eyes full of venom. How dare you harm me? I frowned, so the dragon whip was poisoned. It showed how malicious she was. Just then, Suye approached. Longmei immediately threw herself into his arms, sobbing. Divine Lord, Fairy Shi Li showed disrespect to the princess, and even struck her. He looks at me. His eyes are cold. What do you think? How to handle this? Give him 10 lashes. I kneel on the ground. Without saying a word, the dragon whip is made from an ancient golden dragon. It has infinite power. The whip falls. The clothes on my shoulder are torn. Blood seeps out. After 5 lashes, my skin is split open. My white robe is stained with blood. The 9th lash falls. I can't hold it in anymore and spit out a mouthful. Blood splatters on the ground. The flowers in front of me instantly wither. I lift my eyes and stare fixedly at Suye. He just watches coldly. The 10th lash suddenly turns to my cheek. A crack sound. Blood drips. I can feel the burning pain on half of my face. It's completely ruined. Rumor says that the heart blood of a 9-tailed fox can restore beauty. My lord, take her heart blood. I tremble all over. I look up at him. My body has already been poisoned by the mermaid's venom. The heart blood is also highly toxic. If Longmei takes it, the consequences would be unimaginable. I won't take it. This is the first time I've disobeyed his order. It's not up to you. He didn't hesitate. 5 fingers stabbed into my heart. A sharp pain struck. My eyes widened. I couldn't believe he could be so decisive. The heart blood was drawn out. My face turned pale. My body swayed, about to fall. My lord, Shili, you may leave first. Before he could respond, I turned into red light and vanished, leaving only the drop of deep black blood in his palm, and a flash of surprise in his eyes. Returning to Fanwu Palace, I lay on the bed. My whole body ached. Lin Sheng rushed over immediately. Seeing my state, his eyes were filled with sorrow. This injury of yours? It's nothing, just made a mistake. And got punished, I said calmly. He sat by the bed, raised his hand to heal me. It was that dragon princess who provoked you. Let me take you away. I was stunned. Leave? Why leave? You don't have much time left. His voice was grim. The poison has spread throughout your body. I can't cure it. And after all these years, you've never been able to keep anything alive. Don't you get it? This place doesn't belong to you. I gripped the bedding, my eyes full of disappointment. He was right, but my roots are with Suye. Wherever he is, that's where I belong. Come with me, I'll take you away from this place. He grabbed my hand, his voice urgent. I hesitated for a moment, but in the end, I shook my head. Lin Sheng, I'm sorry. I can't leave. I want to be with him till the end. He was about to say something, but his expression froze. His soul was torn apart, and instantly he turned into a deer, falling to the ground, lifeless. Dr. Lin, I screamed. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. A figure in white walked over. It was Suye. He looked strangely unfamiliar. Why? I cried out, roaring in agony. Lin Sheng never betrayed you. Why did you kill him? He pulled me into his arms. His embrace was ice cold. Taking you away is betrayal. I left on my own. He had nothing to do with it. I pushed him away with all my might. I was ready to die. But his tone suddenly softened. You didn't want to leave. In that moment, I knew. This man never understood me, yet he could always hit my weak spot. That night, Suye went to Longmei's palace. I lay on the bed. My heart was dead. Longmei saw him, both embarrassed and angry. What made you think of Maya tonight? I missed you. His voice was low and sensual, his arm around her waist, but his eyes were cold. Longmei instantly fell, leaning into his arms. Actually, the first time I met you, I already liked you. Liked you enough to do anything. Anything. Then, would you do anything for me? Of course. He curled his lips in a smile. He curled his lips into a smile. I don't want you to do anything. I just want your heart. Piffed. His hand plunged straight into Longmei's chest. His eyes widened, eyes open in death. He held the 7-colored glazed heart, clutched it in his palm. I watched from afar. My heart was completely calm. Perhaps we were all his pawns. It's just that I lived 1,000 years longer than Long Mei. At the Heavenly Realms barrier, Lin Sheng's body still lay there. I crouched down, gently stroking the cold corpse. Tears fell again. Su Ye stood behind me. Anyone who steps out of the barrier shall be killed. He just wanted to save me. My voice choked with tears, full of helplessness. These hundreds of years, we conquered the 4 seas and all lands for you. Went through life and death. How could you be so ruthless? He approached and pulled me into his arms again. I know you don't want to leave. I want to leave. You like this. A divine realm like this. I don't want to stay for a single second. I don't want to stay another second. But he held me tighter. Don't worry, I'll treat you well from now on. Treat me well. Like a pawn to be used and discarded. I closed my eyes, stopped struggling. When the heart is dead, everywhere is hell. The next day, Su Ye took me to the demon clan's forbidden land, the nameless abyss. Demon Lord Wu Jian took the ink box from his hand. Inside was Long Mei's heart. The heart of Long Mei is Qiongqi's favorite food. It can lure him awake, Su Ye whispered in my ear. His voice was cold. And you are the ferocious energy generated during his 10,000-year slumber. I trembled all over. So all of this was his scheme. When you are completely devoured by Qiongqi, that will be the day he awakens, and I will become the supreme lord of the 6 realms. Before the words faded, he suddenly pushed me into the bottomless abyss. In the moment of falling, I remembered how he saved me 1,000 years ago. Remembered the days and nights I fought for him. Remembered his coldness when I asked if his heart stirred. From beginning to end, I was just a stepping stone on his path to the top. I'm just a stepping stone on his path to the top. My true essence drains rapidly. My consciousness fades. I look up at his aloof figure above. The last trace of obsession in my heart dissipates with the sound of falling wind. 100 years later, Su Yi unifies the 6 realms, becoming the sole divine lord. It's said the divine lord's cultivation is profound. His face is stunning, but he's cold-hearted. He's indifferent to all goddesses. Inside the Wuji Hall, Lord Siki toys with the Stone of 3 Lives. Looking at Su Yi, he says teasingly, "Why come to me asking about Shi Li? Someone who has been sacrificed for 100 years. Why should I care? That's good. Anyway, he's completely gone. Born of malice." In the end, he couldn't escape being devoured by Qiongqi. Su Ye's hand pauses slightly. A flash of barely noticeable turmoil crosses his eyes. He sets down the teacup and rises to leave. He walks to the peak of Cloud Mountain, overlooking the 6 realms. But there's an emptiness in his heart. He gained the power he wanted, became the supreme divine lord. So why isn't he happy at all? But why isn't he happy at all? He remembers the little fox that always silently followed him. Remembers how she cooked for him. Remembers the look in her eyes when she asked if he was moved. For the first time, a dull ache strikes his heart. Suddenly, a loud crash. A boulder explodes. A jet-black flood dragon coils upward. Su Ye, today I will kill you. To avenge my Flood Dragon clan. Su Ye's eyes turn cold. With a wave of her hand, the Flood Dragon crashes down hard. 100 years ago, you wiped out my Flood Dragon clan. Today, if it's not your death, then my Flood Dragon clan will be completely annihilated. The Flood Dragon roars and spits a drop of purple-black venom. It flies straight toward his heart. Su Ye channels divine power to form armor. But the venom passes through the armor without obstruction. It melts into his heart. This is the venom concentrated over a lifetime by our Flood Dragon royal bloodline. One touch means death. Even the fox by your side couldn't escape it back then. How could you possibly survive, fox? Su Ye froze. Silly flashed through his mind. The dark black blood bead from her heart blood. So he had long been poisoned by Jiaolong's venomous blood. He raised his hand and forced the venomous blood out. The flames of Chutian instantly annihilated it. The Jiaolong looked incredulous. Finally, it sneered and self-detonated its soul. Su Ye stood still. His mind was shaken. So her death was not just because of the Jiaoren Elder's strike. She had already been severely poisoned. Yet she still fought for him, and died for him. He instantly flashed to the Wuji Hall. Saichi saw him, and pretended to be surprised. "Lord God King, why are you back? How much do you know about Jiaolong's venomous blood?" Su Ye went straight to the point. His tone was urgent. Saichi dropped the act, and looked grave. The stronger the Jiaolong, the more potent its venomous blood before death. Anyone who touches it will have their true essence devoured, and ultimately vanish into ashes. There is no cure. Was Silly poisoned by this back then? Saichi sighed. Yes. I only found out after her sacrifice. I only found out when she sacrificed herself. But back then, you were focused on conquering the 6 realms. Even if I told you, You wouldn't have cared. Suye fell silent. Siki was right. At that time, his eyes were only on the grand ambition of the 9 regions. Silly was just a useful pawn in his mind. But why, after learning the truth, does his heart ache so much? He remembers her pale face, remembers her endurance under the stone whip, remembers her determination when she extracted her heart blood. So, she had been silently enduring all of this, and he never noticed. Leaving Wuji Hall, Suye passes through the flower sea of no impressions. This used to be Jili's favorite place. Now the flowers bloom even more lushly. But the one who made the flowers wither is gone. He raises his hand, and the sea of flowers surges. Countless flower spirits gather, forming a woman identical to Jili. Green robes, white hair, her face exactly the same. But her eyes are empty, with no spark at all. From now on, your name is Jili. Yes, my lord. He takes her back to the bamboo hut on Mingluan Peak. He has her change into white robes, and learn to water flowers and cook like Zili. In imitation of Zili, she watered the flowers and cooked. But the flowers at her feet never withered. There was no sorrow in her eyes. She was just a soulless puppet. Suye looked at her. The emptiness in his heart grew larger and larger. What he wanted was not an identical shell, but the one whose heart would flutter for him. The Jili who would shed tears for him. He waved his hand, making the sea of flowers wither, making the puppet exude a decaying aura. But even so, the puppet wouldn't, like Silly, look at him with eyes full of dependence and adoration. This was not what he wanted. It began to rain on Mingluan Peak. The puppet stood in the rain, completely soaked, yet still she didn't move, only because he had not given any orders. Suye walked up to her. Rage surged in his heart. Why didn't you go inside? You, master, didn't order me to. Her voice was completely flat. Looking into her hollow eyes, the string in Suye's mind suddenly snapped. He remembered the Jili of those days, who would secretly cook for him, who would accidentally show her foxtail, who would look at him with expectant eyes. But now that lively Jili was completely gone, he held the power of life and death over all 6 realms. Yet he had lost the one who would cook for him. 100 years of solitude. He had never imagined that she could really leave him for so long, can truly vanish completely from this land of 9 provinces. He raised his hand and destroyed the puppet. Since it's not her, keeping it only adds to the pain. Suye vanished in a flash, arriving at the demon clan's Ming Yuan. Qiongqi slowly opened his fierce eyes. He looked up and laughed. Give her back. Suye held the crimson blood sword. His voice was icy. Despicable divine race. The thing transformed from the ultimate weapon has long since returned to me. You are the one who gave her to me to devour. Today you come to demand her back. Ridiculous. Suye's eyes turned bloodshot. A dark blue flame appeared in his palm. So I will refine you, to see if she can return. The ghost fire shot into Qiongqi's forehead. He roared in pain, knocking Suye over. Finally, self-detonated his soul. After the huge explosion, Ming Yuan was leveled to the ground. Suye stood in the ruins, using his divine sense to search every corner, but could no longer find Shili's aura. Suye, have you gone mad? Do you want to destroy the 6 realms, leaving Shili with no place to belong? Shili, Suye withdrew the flame, rushed in front of Saichi. What do you know? The Divine Deer Clan has the Soul Guiding Pearl. Lin Sheng may have given it to Shili. With the Soul Guiding Pearl's protection, her spirit may have already reincarnated. To find her, we must use the Kongtong Mirror. Take me to the Divine Deer Clan's Forbidden Land. Saichi watched him enter the Kongu Mirror. Your divine power will be sealed, but your memories will not fade. You have 6 chances at reincarnation. If you can't find her, or can't make her fall in love with you, you will be devoured by the mirror world. I will find her. Suye finished speaking, then resolutely stepped into the mirror. He owed her, and would repay her over 6 lifetimes. The 14th year of Showa, the Qi royal palace ran with blood. I held a long sword, and chopped off the Qi emperor's head. Behind me, Princess Yunli, dressed in a yellow robe, sat on the sedan chair. Her eyes were icy. From now on, Qi will have only one empress. I turned to look at him. Suye, you did well. You did well, Sui. I am a hostage from the kingdom of Wu. I've been undercover by her side for 15 years. Helped her launch a coup. Seized the kingdom. Days later, she ascended the throne. Married me in grand attire. Late at night, before the chessboard, she placed the Black King. You're still going easy on me. In your majesty's presence, my chess skills are already pathetic. I gazed at her, my eyes full of affection. She suddenly leaned over and grabbed my collar, and kissed me. I held her tight, silently chanting Ali. In this life, I will protect you well. But I never expected, she always carried suspicion in her heart. When I proposed to attack Wei, she personally clad me in armor, but secretly set a trap after I left. Half a month, I pacified Wei, returned covered in wounds. But at the palace banquet, she took in a young nobleman who bore some resemblance to me. In the dining hall, that young man raised a toast to me, his tone laced with mockery. I looked at Yunli. She smiled and said, This can be considered a bond between you two. I took the cup and drank it down. Poisoned wine went down my throat. I looked at her, whispered, "As you wish." Actually, half a month ago, I had already taken an arrow and held on with my last breath to return, just to see her one more time. Worth it, seeing you. I grip her hand. The light in her eyes fades. She can't be trusted. Live well for me. Before consciousness fades, I hear her icy voice. The left chancellor's son, Ji Qing, framed the queen. His entire clan executed. Oh well, at least I helped her remove a threat. In the heavy snow, I watch that 8-year-old girl. All her family beheaded. Blood splatters on her face, but she doesn't cry or fuss. Her eyes empty. I lean down and reach out my hand. Will you come with me? She looks at the bodies on the ground. Her little hand slowly places into mine. I pick her up, take her back to Han Mansion. Name her Shi Yin. Over 10 years, I teach her to read and write, and care for her dearly. But she's always been cold to me. Her palm always cool to the touch. On her coming of age day, I want to make her my concubine. A concubine is still a wife. Shi Yin doesn't want to be your wife. My heart aches, but I still indulge her. On the night of her birthday I took her to Chang'an Street, bought her a gold hairpin carved with a fox pattern. She looked at the hairpin, her eyes full of confusion. Why a fox? I was speechless. She was no longer the one who liked to show her foxtail. Silly, we went to release floating lanterns. She wrote a character for life. I watched the lantern drift away, my heart sank. She just wanted to live. And my life only had her when the assassins attacked. I shielded her in my arms, got 2 sword cuts on my body. Shi Yin, go. I said with a smile. Live well. Live the life you want. Can I go? She frowned. Don't look back, keep going forward. I blocked the assassin's blades with my body, watching her figure fade away. Blood kept spilling from the corner of my mouth. What an ungrateful little brat. But I did it willingly. The Black Sea Underground Palace. I was locked in an iron cage, carving a wooden statue. It was a likeness of Zhili, but I never dared to carve the facial features. General Jiang Li is coming. Familiar footsteps approach. I look up and see him in red robes. She's here to take my flood dragon pill, to save her fiancé, Pei Ren. Wanting to marry you, does that count? I lean against the iron door, my eyes full of interest, hiding a sincerity no one knows. She chuckles and pushes a lunchbox in. Eat up. After you eat, you'll be on your way. During the struggle, I easily subdued her, whispering in her ear. You know, a flood dragon without its pill dies. She closes her eyes. I know. She wants to save Pei Ren, even at any cost. I break free from the curse. The sea surges. I killed Pei Ren, watching her wail in anguish. Heartbreaking pain. She died from grief over Pei Ren's death. I raise my hand and open my throat, take out the golden flood dragon pill, and place it in her mouth. What you wanted. I give it all to you. I smile as my consciousness fades, as long as she can live. In the 38th year of Tianyuan, the Xia kingdom fell into chaos. I quelled the rebellion, and became the regent king. In the dilapidated cold palace I met the 10-year-old Princess Xue. She was skin and bones, being chased by a kitchen maid. Her face splattered with blood, but her eyes were chillingly cold. Don't be afraid, I won't hurt you, Your Highness. I wiped the blood off her face, and picked her up. To escort the princess back to the palace, I raised her to a high position and cared for her in every way, tended to her daily needs, sought rare medicines for her to cure her chronic stomach ailment. But she was always wary of me, believing I was using her. On the day she came of age, I personally carved a jade ring for her. Princess, my heart belongs to you. I will never betray you. But she coldly had me escorted home. A year later, she held a feast and demanded the tiger tally. I walked toward her smiling, and took out the tiger tally. Princess, in winter, you kick off the blankets. In summer, don't overindulge in cold things. After I'm gone, you must take good care of yourself. You must take good care of yourself. She suddenly stabbed my heart with a dagger. I grabbed her waist and kissed her lips. Tears fell. Princess, my heart belongs to you. I saw the shock in her eyes. I saw her holding the green jade ring I gave her. I saw her jade pendant fall into a pool of blood. That was when she first left the cold palace. She gave it to me to curry favor. I wore it for 6 whole years. It's snowing. I hope this blizzard can hide my longing. Night of the red moon. I wore a tattered robe and walked into the dry mountain forest. On the cliff, she may swayed her 9 tails. Her eyes were murderous. You came to the dry mountain forest to subdue demons. Tired of living, she attacked with fierce demonic power. I pressed her down with my prayer beads. She fell to the ground and spat blood. Monk, if you don't use the beads, let's fight again. I stood before her, looking at the heart-shaped mark between her brows. Fox spirit, are you willing to cultivate with me? You don't kill people, so I'll save you. She sneered but still nodded. I carried her down the mountain. I ate the chicken she wanted, watched her heal poor patients. I thought that would slowly warm her heart, but I never expected. It was all a trick. The demon hunter captured her sister to lure her out. He wanted to take her demon heart. She went berserk, lost her demon consciousness. By the time I arrived, she was stepping on my face, with malice in her eyes. You actually believed I wanted to be with you forever. I took her hand and drove it into my heart. She may, since you've lost your demon consciousness, I will save you. Golden light enveloped us. She regained her senses, froze at the sight of the heart in her hand. I said I'd save you, but I wonder if you'll remember me. I smiled as my vision faded. I heard her tell her sister she knows, and I felt at peace. At least she knows the truth. In my sixth life, I came to a land of plenty. Watching the bustling crowd, I hesitated. All my efforts in the first 5 lives were in vain. Should I disturb her in this life too? In the distance, a woman was selling fish, with a bright smile on her face. So alive. A little boy hugged her, and she smiled, giving him 2 copper coins. She watched him run off to buy a candy apple. It's her, Shilly. She already has a happy life. I shouldn't disturb her anymore. I turn around, ready to break the seal of the Compton seal. A clear voice comes. I suddenly turn back. She's holding a stick of sugar-coated hawthorn, revealing her sharp little fangs. A pair of furry ears perk up. Behind her, a long fox tail sways back and forth, just like when we first met 10,000 years ago. Time stands still at this moment. I look at her, the seal in my palm slowly fading. She leans closer, reaches out her fox paw, her eyes full of curiosity. My name is Shilly. What's yours? I look at her, my eyes filled with deep affection. My voice is hoarse. Suyi, in this life, I am no longer the lofty divine lord, and she is no longer my pawn. We are just 2 people who met in this land of plenty. Starting over, 6 reincarnations, spanning 1,000 years. I have finally found you. This time, I won't let go.